And the best way to predict the future is to choose it, to design it, to bring it to life. Remember, our minds think in pictures. And if I say the word bed to you or dog to you, you don't see the letters BED or DOG. You don't see the letters in your mind's eye. You likely see your bed, your dog or pet, right? If I say car, then house, then moon, then garden, your mind immediately creates a photo image, a rotating image with all of those words going through your mind in pictures. They're images in your mind. Image in. This is key to understanding the basic mind science that is fundamental to creating your future self. Now you might be saying, yeah, but I already know what those things are, what they look like. What does that have to do with imagination? Great question. Hold that thought. Hold that skepticism, because you're about to be a believer here very shortly. Now, there's a famous story about the actor Jim Carrey. You may have heard this because it is really famous, and how he used the power of his imagination and visualization to great effect. He's told this story many times, and you can find his Oprah testimonial on YouTube. You see, when Carrey first arrived in Hollywood, he was broke, yet he was determined to be successful. So early in his career, he wrote a check to himself for 5 years in the future in the amount of $5 million for acting services rendered. And he kept the check in his pocket. He'd take the check out and he'd look at it often, and he'd drive up to the top of Mulholland Drive and imagine his life as a successful actor. Now, Mulholland Drive overlooks the entire LA Valley. It's pretty breathtaking. And while Carrey was up there, he'd say to himself, I have the house, I have the wealth, I have the recognition. Those things are already out there. I just haven't acquired them yet in physical form. And he engaged with that check. He took it out of his pocket so often that it became tattered and had to be taped back together. But he was creating the powerful seed via his imagination of the life he wanted to create for himself. And in 1994, Jim Carrey became one of the first actors to be paid $5 million for his work in a movie. Ironically, it was Dumb and Dumber of all films. Now here's another lesser known but also true story of the power of visualization. There's a woman by the name of Goody Cable, and like Jim Carrey, Goody had a dream. She was an avid reader, and she wanted to build a hotel that would pay tribute to her favorite authors while also providing a place to stay for her fellow book lovers. Now, Goody began her dream by writing down the details of what her hotel would look like. Everything from the exact location, on a bluff overlooking the ocean where the guests could listen to the waves crashing below, the specific square footage of the hotel and every room in it. She even named every room after the authors who inspired her. And she determined what the color schemes would be for every room. Talk about a level of detail. She decided there would be no phones, TVs, or radios, and smoking was not going to be allowed in her hotel. She worked on fine-tuning each detail until she had a finished blueprint. A fully designed product, a fully designed hotel in every aspect, not just in her mind, but also on paper. It was only after visualizing and designing her dream hotel that Goody went for financing. Now, here's where persistence is key. Goody was turned down 28 times for financing. Talk about the immovable belief in the power of one's dreams. 28 times. How many of us would have had the perseverance to stay with our dreams like that? It was only on the 29th attempt that Goody got her financing. What was once a dilapidated, leaky old hulk of a building is now a beautiful, iconic hotel that sits on a bluff overlooking the Pacific Ocean in Newport, Oregon. And some of the room names, if you were ever to go there, you'd find hotel room names like J.R.R. Tolkien, Virginia Woolf, John Steinbeck, Shakespeare, Ernest Hemingway, Emily Dickinson, Dr. Seuss, Mark Twain, Agatha Christie. A lot of detail there. Goody transformed her dream into reality, and the Sylvia Beach Hotel recently celebrated their 40th anniversary of business. Goody's commitment to her dream was far greater than any obstacle could destroy. 3 key takeaways from Goody's story. 1, Goody's goals were very specific and detailed. Remember, she named every room, the color scheme, the size, where it would be located, etc. Very specific. 2, she kept her dream alive every day, like Jim Carrey and looking at his $5 million check. continually providing her subconscious mind with mental images of what she wanted to create. And 3, as important as the other 2, she never, ever gave up. Goody had an unshakable connection with her future self and what she wanted to create for that future. Choose your future self. Choose. Because choice is your superpower, and the best way to predict the future is to choose it, to design it, to bring it to life.
Like, share, and subscribe for more value-add contents. Thank you for watching. What you've just watched is part of Module 3 of the full-blown 7-part evergreen masterclass, Crush Your Limiting Beliefs and Create Your Future Self Now. Check the link in the description to visit the Inner Genius Academy for more details. Comment yes if you want to know the step-by-step guide in creating your future self today.